morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders from across the globe. Welcome to Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar's 667th YouTube video, baby, yeah! 667 technical analysis videos that have been put together to help teach you how to be a better analyst. And traders, if you can become better analysts, it should absolutely equate to you one day being better traders. So come on down and learn my analysis. Traders, futures trading, as we know, is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. So if you do not understand this game, if you do not have risk capital, you should not be playing in the futures. But for you cowboys out there that like to shoot them up, baby, bing, 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 rock and roll. This video is being filmed on Thursday night for Trading Friday. That would be December 17, 2010. Traders, what's on the board? Aside from Santa and his wife, we have a green Omni in the S&P and a red Omni in bonds. And you know what? I think it stays that way for the near term at least. Traders, the leader is the Dow Jones Transportation Average, and it is pulling the ES higher, and it should pull us higher on Friday. The top in bonds is indeed in. What I find interesting about that is listening to those channels today. I hear them going, oh, it looks like treasuries are a good sale now. Well, get with it, guys. Here at the OMNI Trading Academy, we made that call a couple of weeks ago. The top of the bonds is in. I was brave enough to get in front of this camera and say, you heard it here first. The top of the bonds is in. We have dropped, 9 handles in bonds since that video. 9 handles in bonds. Not 9 points, 9 full handles. The top, obviously, is in bonds. Traders, for you traders that have been around here for a while now, you understand how markets work. If you believe the top is in bonds, you have no choice as an analyst but to then believe that the bottom is in on our economic recovery. You cannot call the top in bonds if you personally at home think the bonds have topped, and we certainly called that weeks ago, but yes, we think it has. Then you have to think the economy has bottomed, at least for now, because you cannot have the flight to quality fear factor bond market going down if the world is in a turmoil or in panic thinking that the stock market is going to crash. If the economic environment is sour, bonds skyrocket. When the economic environment starts to get better, bonds come down. If the top is in bonds, you have no choice but to forget all the voices you hear in your head and technically realize that you have to have bottomed in the S&P if you've topped in bonds. Traders, we have topped in bonds. You need to do your homework. If you do not understand that, if you do not believe that, if you don't know that that's what's going on, it looks like the top of bonds is in, which means we now sell any major rallies. As they rally up and they start to taper off, we sell into that, looking for 114 in 30-year bonds and then possibly 104. When we started making these calls, we were at 129. When we finally did YouTube videos, we were at 127, and we broke all the way to 118. Wow, 118 in bonds. Again, I will repeat this. As an analyst, 29 years strong, I know this to be a fact. If you think the top of bonds is in, you have no choice but to recognize the bottom of the economic recovery has been put in. So let's see what you think about that. Traders, you come on down to my site. It's www.livewithoscar.com. Jump into my trading rooms. It'll cost you nothing to do that. And in fact, something very interesting I'm about to announce here in this video. We are going to hold another Omni Camp here in Las Vegas. Only 5 students will be invited. Traders, the last 4 Omni Camps I held, I had 12 to 14 students. This last Omni Camp we just held 2 weeks ago only had 5 students. And you know what? I really loved the interaction between me and those 5 students. So I'm going to cut my camps down to 5 students at a time. If there's any 5 fans out there that would like to spend 4 days and nights with me, locked in my place, place here in Vegas learning analysis. We call it OmniCamp. You make sure you come on down to my site and fill out an application for OmniCamp, and we will call you back. Again, I'm only qualifying 5 of you, and we are likely going to hold this camp in the last week of January. If you would like to be part of that OmniCamp, get to my site as quickly as you can and fill out those OmniCamp questionnaires, because, traders, the last OmniCamp, I had a 30-man waiting list. I don't want to have that happen again. First come, first serve. Make sure you come on down to my site if you would like to be with me for 4 days at the end of January here in Las Vegas. All right, traders, with no further ado, now I'd like to show you some of the analysis that you will be learning here in Vegas. So let's go look at some charts. Okay, traders, the Dow Jones Transportation Average, deemed the leader of U.S. indices, is pulling out of another bull flag. Look at this right here. Lovely, staying inside this wonderful channel, right? Just stays in it, working its way higher. Well, it has now created what we call a bull flag, and the likelihood is it breaks out of that bull flag to the upside. So we have the Dow Jones Transportation Average absolutely pulling us higher. It is the leader, and we expect the S&P to follow it straight on up. So you keep your eyes on that transportation average, and it should give you clues as how you're going to trade your S&P market. All right, traders, so that was the transportation average. It is the leader. It's in a beautiful channel, a nice bull flag. You got to like that. The other thing that we discussed was bonds, right? And we came out with that video and said the top is in bonds. Let me show you what has happened since that video. Okay, traders, this is the 30-year T-bonds, and if you recall, we had this chart in front of you, except for we had all the little head and shoulders all circled out for you, right, showing you that it was a huge, enormous rounded top with lots and lots of multiple head and shoulders, either inverted or upright all over it, and we called the top. It is the same way we called the top in the S&P. It's the same way we called the bottom in the S&P. And here we are. We were brazen enough to come out in front of this camera and call the top. Traders, look at what has happened in bonds since we called the top in this video here. Boom, 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 all the way to here so far. We are talking a huge 10, almost 11 handle drop since we started talking about the highs are in. And it happened very quickly. So what we are going to do with any major rallies in bonds now, we sell into them expecting lower lows throughout the next year coming. That's how we have the bonds pegged, and that is what has happened. And all of a sudden we're hearing calls on television that the top of the bonds are in. But we had that pegged way before the street was calling it, traders. There is nothing better than technical analysis. It always leads the markets. Do your own homework. Pull your charts on the transportation average, find that bull flag, and look at the 30-year bond market because it has topped. So, traders, you've seen those charts. Nice bull flag in the transportation average, the leader. Hopefully, we'll pull the S&P right with it on Friday. And my down arrow in bonds, traders, you may have a few up days, but the top is in bonds. We are looking to sell any major rallies that come our way in bonds. So I'm not saying that on Friday bonds go down. They've been going down every day. But we are now absolutely going to sell into some major rally if we see one in the bonds. But that bond call, just like the S&P call at 1577, was not difficult to see when it finally materialized. Traders, if you would like to learn how to do analysis of that nature, come on down to my site. It's www.livewithoscar.com. Now, we are going to do the countdown to 1290, 1300, traders. This figure has been on my board since the beginning of the year. Many of you thought I was crazy. I thought Omni was crazy. But you know what? We have seen 1242 already. And when that call was made, we went all the way down to 950 after that call was on the board. And steadfast, I said I always stick to my long-term projections. And here we are. We are in December of this year, and we've gotten almost to 1290 already. In fact, you can call that particular call baked, that target, because if you consider we traded down to 950 and we've already traded 1242, that is pretty darn close to hitting that 1290. So go Omni, go! Now, we might as well do a countdown. I have a feeling tomorrow we log another $5 to $10 on the upside. So each video, if hopefully we'll get close before this year ends. We only have a few trading days left. But let's see if we can do a countdown to our magical number of 1290. And every day we'll see how close we get to it, all right? I think it's exciting. Traders, imagine Omni made that call in the beginning of this year. That's insane. You know, I'm as shocked as the rest of the world, but we made the call for 1577 during the bull market to top out, and it did. We made the call for 668 to bottom out, and it did. And then we made a call for 1290, and it's almost there. That's amazing. Whatever this Omni's got going in its long-term calls, it sure got something good going on. We'll see what happens this year. We will absolutely make our Omni call for 2011. Traders, as we all know, there's no need for a call in 2012 because after 2012 is December 21st, 2012. We all die, right? It's the end of the world. So I don't know if we need a call for 2012, but we'll definitely do one for 2011, and we'll go from there. You know, I'm willing to bet. I'll bet you. I'll bet you. I'll bet you. I'll bet you. I'll bet everybody out there that we're all standing here on December 22nd, 2012. But we'll wait. We'll have some fun with that as we get closer. For now, we're worried about 2010, December 17th. We are looking for that S&P to pop, and we are going to sell major rallies in bonds. Traders, I'll see you at the site. Make sure you come on. Join me in my trading rooms. Don't trade alone. Come on down to my site and join me where I will teach you the brand of analysis I put before you in all of these videos. All right, traders, I'll see you shortly. Keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do to help yourselves with that is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. Stop